It's MLB opening day. Let's make $10,000, okay? I have 6 picks to make $10,000. A lot of value in the market with MLB just starting. So let's go ahead, let's get into it. And the first tool I'm going to start out on is the OddsJam screen. So the way this tool works is you can go to any sport you want, any market you want, and it basically just shows you the entire board where every book is setting the lines. Right? And as a sharp bettor, we are hunting. We are hunting through the market and looking for value. So you can see right here, Blake Snell, right? PrizePicks Underdog have his line at 6.5. All the sports books have his line at 6.5. There's no major discrepancies in the odds. There's no value. Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Same with Valdez. All books have his line at 5.5. If you're playing this, you're just paying the juice. There's no discrepancies in the market. But you take a look at German Marquez and you see a line discrepancy, right? That's exactly what I'm searching for. No value on Ohtani, no value on Gallen, no value on Mueller. But hey, look, we see a big discrepancy on PrizePicks versus Underdog and all the sports books for Marquez. PrizePicks has his line at 4 strikeouts. Underdog is at 4.5, and all of the sports books are also at 4.5, right? So we have numerous data points. These sports books have invested hundreds of millions of dollars in their ability to set lines. Their models are better than your models. They're moving around lines due to supply and demand, right? You have tons of data points all telling you Marquez's line should be at 4.5 strikeouts. PrizePicks is at 4. Underdog, their direct competitor, works, the platform works in basically the exact same way as at 4.5, and all the sports books are at 4.5. Some sports books like DraftKings, BetMGM, they have the under 4.5 Ks for Marquez slightly favored, but you can see this OddsJam column. So this is Pinnacle Sportsbook. We started doing this a long time ago, but you'll notice, so let me go back up here. You'll notice, so let me open up another one like Hunter Green. Let's wait for this to load real quick. Long story short, this OddsJam column, we just copy Pinnacle odds. I'm not sure why we started doing this. Pinnacle is known to be one of the sharpest bookmakers in the world. We just, like a year and a half ago, we started duplicating Pinnacle odds to the OddsJam column. So you can see Pinnacle has Marquez over 4.5 strikeouts favored. PrizePicks is at 4. Their direct competitors at 4.5. Sportsbooks are at 4.5. Some have the under favored. Some have the over favored. But long story short, PrizePicks is too low. Right? All these books want to set lines independently, and we found a discrepancy. We found value in the market. So this is the play we want to take advantage of from the screen, right? And I don't just look at MLB strikeouts. You can look at NBA assists. You can look at tons of different lines, but it's MLB opening day. So I decided to start looking at MLB strikeouts, and I found really good value right here. You got to be on Marquez over 4Ks. Anyways, so this is the first tool I use to find kind of value as a sharp bettor, right? And I say this all the time, but if you want to make money sports betting, right? Like I show my PrizePicks results all the time. And again, it's not to just brag and be like, here's the profits. It's really to show you that taking your gut, your emotions out of sports betting, following mathematical sports betting, looking for value in the market, it really is how you make money, right? It's finding an edge. Nobody wins every day. You'll see my PrizePicks profit and loss in 2023 is really rocky, ups and downs. But again, when you have an edge, when you're finding value in the market, you're going to win long term. You're finding discrepancies. You're finding value. So this is the first play you got to be on. Anyways, let's get into my next play. So the next play I have is right here. So this is a college basketball play. And a lot of people ask like, ooh, why are you betting on college basketball and MLB in the same slip? Right? And the reason is there's value, right? I will bet on any sport. Some people like to filter out certain sports on OddsJam. This is called the Positive EV tool. And really all the Positive EV tool does is it goes to PrizePicks, right? It pulls in all these lines. So player strikeouts, it's pulling in all the NBA lines, the MLB lines, and it's just showing you value when sportsbooks are setting the line at the same level. Right? So the previous play we saw in Marquez, the reason we liked it is there was a discrepancy in where the line was being set. All the books were at 4.5. Underdog was at 4.5. PrizePicks was at 4. PrizePicks' line was too low. Right? So we want to take the over. PrizePicks was too low. But here you can see all sports books are setting Alex Caraban's assist line at 1.5. So there's not a discrepancy in where the line is being set. There's a discrepancy in the odds. Right? So PrizePicks for a 5 flex, we've gone through this math a bunch of times, but I think it's that important. So I'll go through it again. On PrizePicks, if you're able to hit, right? So if we go here, if you can select overs and unders, so let's go to Corey Kluber, right? If you can select overs and unders at a rate of 57%, so you can be correct 57% of the time. So if you can hit your picks 57% of the time on PrizePicks, if you're playing two-pick power plays, your ROI is negative 2.53%. You are losing money hitting your picks 57% of the time. And if you think about it, hitting over-unders 57% of the time, only being wrong 43% of the time, that's not bad, right? That's pretty good. So two-pick power plays are just horrible. You will not see me hitting two-pick power plays. You do not get these results on PrizePicks if you're touching two-pick power plays with a 10-foot pole. Anyways, so long story short, if you're playing a 5 flex though, so negative 2.53% for a two-pick power play, if you're playing a 5 flex and you're hitting your picks at a rate of 57%, your ROI is going to be crazy high, right? 19.3%. So you're beating my ROI if you can hit your plays 57% of the time. That would be crazy if you could hit 57% of the time, right? And you're not even making money in a two-pick power play if you're hitting your picks 57% of the time. But in a 5 flex, your ROI long-term would be 19.25%. So pretty crazy. So long story short, we're looking for plays on PrizePicks. Of course, this is the number we're optimizing for. We want picks that are winning at the highest possible rate, right? So what this OddsJam Positive EV tool does is it pulls in the lines from all the sports books, from PrizePicks, and it shows you value, right? It shows you where sportsbooks have an over or an under heavily favored. And what you're going to see for Alex Caravan is all of the books have his under heavily favored, right? Bet365 has the under minus 140, DraftKings minus 145, BetOnline minus 143, BetUS a little less bullish, minus 120, and Bovada minus 150. So all the books are saying, yo, his under should be heavily favored. So you can quantify these numbers, like you can quantify the win probability for this bet. So I say this all the time, but this is the most important calculator on OddsJam. It's called a no-vig odds calculator. And basically the way it works, right, is you put in a sportsbook's market. So in this case, BetOnline, we know they have the under favored. So we know the sportsbook is saying, yo, the under is the favored outcome. So it's going to be greater than 50% win rate according to BetOnline, right? When a sportsbook has an under favored, that means it's hitting over 50% of the time. And what we want is picks that are winning at the highest possible rate, but definitely over 50% of the time. If you're only hitting 50% of the time in a 5 flex, your ROI is negative 25%. So you want this number at like 55, 56%, which is basically how you make money on PrizePicks long term. So you can quantify, right? So BetOnline, they have the under at minus 143. They have the over at plus 110. So we know the under's favored, but we want to quantify that. So the calculator you use is a no-vig odds calculator, right? And what this calculator does is it takes a sportsbook's market, right? And it tells you the win probability for the over and the under. So basically, based on the fact that BetOnline has the under at minus 143, the over at plus 110, the win probability for the over, or for the under, is 55.27% according to the sportsbook model, right? And the win probability for the over is 44.73%. So 55.27%, if we throw that into our 5 flex ROI thing, that would mean this play, if all our plays in a 5 flex were hitting at a rate of 55.27%, our ROI on PrizePicks would be 6.8% long term. So a little lower than mine, but still a pretty strong play, right? So again, there's really two ways or two main tools that I use, right? The screen, like the Marquez play, I'm looking for discrepancies in where books are setting the line. Where do PrizePicks and Underdog differ? When I'm using the EV tool, it's a lot simpler to use because it's comparing prices, right? It's comparing where books are setting the lines at the same level. And here, all the books have the line set at, 1.5 assists. So we're just comparing the prices. So you can see DraftKings, right? They have the under a little more juiced than BetOnline. So BetOnline, the win probability was 55.27%. So if we change that to minus 145, which is DraftKings line, the win probability goes up to 55.41%. So you're never going to get a perfect answer as to what exactly are the odds, what exactly is the win probability for my play, right? What exactly is the ROI of my PrizePicks slip? But it should be pretty clear, kind of looking through the market. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sports books posting odds. They all have the under favored at around minus 140. We're getting minus 119 in a flex. clear value, right? Sportsbooks imply win probabilities through their odds. It's critical to understand a no-vig calculator. If you're new to sports betting, I recommend reading this text like 3 to 4 times. It's really that important, right? Minus 200 favorite. So let's say this were minus 200 on the sportsbooks. Minus 200 means a 2-to-1 favorite. 2/3 to win, 66.67% to win. So, right, if all the books had this at minus 200, this play would be 66.67% to win, which would mean the ROI, on PrizePicks would be crazy high, 110%. But of course, sportsbooks don't have this juiced all the way to minus 200 on average. They're about minus 140. But sportsbooks imply win probabilities through their odds. And this is a market, right? So let's say all the sharp bettors or all the syndicates, they're like, no, we think Alex Caravan is a lot more likely to go under. They'll start betting these unders, right? And sportsbooks will move the line with more juice towards the under. So let's say more action comes in on the under. Bet Online may move their market from, plus 110 on the over. If all the action's coming in on the under, they may move their market to plus 120, minus 153. Right? This is the way a market works. Sportsbooks move around lines due to supply and demand. So if Bet Online moves their line to plus 120, minus 153, now they're saying, okay, based on all the action we're seeing in the market, this play has a 57% chance of winning. Right? And if action continues to come in on the under, then Bet Online will say, oh, the under is actually more favored than we initially thought. We're going to move this to plus 130, minus 163. And if sharp bettors continue to hit the under, if all the action keeps piling in on the under, sportsbooks will continue to move around lines until you get to the point of indifference. Maybe it's plus 150, minus 193, right? Where then Bet Online is saying, yo, this play is 62.22%. Then if sports bettors are like, oh, that's kind of fair, that's what seems appropriate, they won't touch it, right? But if sharp bettors are still like, no, this play is, 80% to hit, they'll continue to pound the under because there's still value. Right? If there's something hitting 80% of the time and you're betting at minus 200, where you only need to win 2/3 of the time, 66.67% of the time, to break even, and you're hitting at a rate of 80%, you're going to be super profitable. But anyways, that's a lot of strategy. Regardless, the point is when using the EV tool, it's very easy, right? All you do is you take the play in bold and in green and you bet them, right? So I found a play on the screen, Marquez. Then you can see we have Alex Caravan, Hunter Green under 7.5 strikeouts, Brandon Ingram under 6.5 assists. So we're starting out with 3 unders in 3 different sports or 3 different leagues: college basketball, MLB, NBA. I say it all the time. As a sharp bettor, you're following the value. You don't wake up in a given day and say, I'm just betting on baseball, right? You say, okay, I'm going to look, PrizePicks has tens of thousands of odds. I'm going to compare all these lines to sports books, see where sports books have the over or under heavily favored, and take advantage of plays like this. Here you can see all the books have Ingram under 6.5 assists heavily favored, right? PrizePicks, they don't vary payouts depending on if you select the over or the under. So the strategy is pretty simple, right? You go 2 for 2, you're getting a 3x payout, right? So it doesn't matter for 2-pick power plays for whatever. PrizePicks doesn't vary your payouts depending on if you select the overs or the unders. So you're looking for, when you're playing on PrizePicks, you're looking for spots where the sportsbooks have an over or an under heavily favored. And in this case, it's Ingram under 6.5 assists. And then you can see there's 2 player bases plays. Straw to get a base, Jimenez to get a base, right? And you're going to notice, I don't bet with my gut ever. I'm just following the value. So here you can see a 6-pick flex, 400 to win 10 grand, Caravan under 1.5 assists, Green under 7.5 Ks, Jimenez to record a base, Straw to record a base, Ingram under 6.5 assists, Marquez over 4 strikeouts, right? The EV tool is much easier to use. Just hit the bet in bold and in green, find 5 or 6 on PrizePicks, pair them together. The screen is a bit more manual work, but you're able to find some amazing plays like Marquez. So then you can see I also put these together in some 5 flexes. So you can see here, I just took away Marquez, right? So I went with a 5 flex. And then here I took away Brandon Ingram and went with another 5 flex. So that's basically what I got for you. A bunch of sharp picks, a bunch of value. Now we have a lot more sports going on. MLB, there's so many games, total bases, strikeouts. There's a lot of value. So hopefully we can make some money today. There will be a lot more good plays on PrizePicks. And thanks for watching.